Has your musicianship reached a technical plateau? A situation where your standard practice regime only brings you a tiny fraction of the progress that it used to? You may not be surprised to hear that this is a common complaint amongst musicians, even truly dedicated ones. But what is surprising is just how few teachers out there know how to get their students beyond their plateau and into a new stream of progression and development. It's surprising because the basic principle behind it is really simple. And if you stick around for the next few minutes, you'll understand that principle too. Hello, I'm Simon Siddle from the Conscious Music School, where we use consciousness to develop musicianship and music to develop consciousness. And today we're talking about a subject close to my heart: technical plateau busting, the art and science of transcending one's current musical technique. I say it's close to my heart because out of my 30 years of teaching music, I've spent the last 20 concentrating on this very subject. And I've come to this very simple conclusion. Musical talent is not some ineffable quality that you're either born with or without, nor is it some immovable factor in how far your musicianship can progress. And if it does appear to be those things to you, that's down to what you've been taught and the way you've been taught. So if you're ready to step beyond that limiting paradigm and bust through your own technical plateau, here is how you go about it. 1. Reframe the problem. A nice, neat, circular argument for why musical talent can't be taught is that the term musical talent is a shorthand for all the skills music teachers don't know how to teach. And here's why they don't know. Because these skills have almost nothing to do with the technique for the particular instrument you play, nor much to do with musical theory. So what are these skills? Well, a big clue can be gleaned from looking at the non-musical skills and qualities that playing an instrument is said to improve. Here's a short list that I found on the internet. Instrumental study is said to reduce stress, produce patience and perseverance, develop music appreciation, cultivate creativity. It's said to utilize almost every part of the brain. It strengthens your immune system, develops time management skills, increases memory capability, increases your sharing capacity with others, increases your emotional perception, increases your personal discipline. It physically enlarges the brain, it boosts confidence, boosts spelling skills and raises IQ in children, it decreases age-related hearing loss, improves communication skills, and gives you faster reaction times. So, in other words, a whole raft of skills concerning brain and mind adaptability, perception and memory, bihemispherical brain use, emotional and physical health, and heightened self-awareness, as well as heightened awareness of others. Then, it's a simple matter to turn this phenomenon back to front, to see that musical talent is really a shorthand term for having these skills already well developed. It's not your musical technique that has reached its outer limits. It's your skills of perception, memory recall, physical and emotional control, and self-referential understanding that, at their current level of development, have reached their outer limits of how much they can support your musical technique. The problem is not in your fingers or lips or in your voice box. The aspect of you that needs developing is your subconscious mind and how it relates to your music playing. Just as playing an instrument can help in self-development, developing the self can improve your instrumental and musical technique. 2. Reframe yourself. To look at the way some teachers teach music and some students learn music, you would think that playing an instrument is something that purely concerns your hands and your conscious mind. This, despite the fact that anybody with any experience in learning and playing music knows that mastery of any one particular piece comes when you finally don't have to think about playing it in your conscious mind anymore. We use this very fuzzy term instinct to describe all the things that are going on behind the conscious mind. And it's your acknowledgement that you are far more than your hands and your conscious mind, and your acknowledgement that your music skills come far more from what's behind your consciousness than they do from your conscious mind, It's your acknowledgement of these things that will crack the nut of your seemingly stuck, plateaued place in your progress. Yes, you are your conscious mind and your hands, or your voice, but you are also your subconscious mind. You are also your perceptions and your habits and values concerning the way that you order these perceptions. You are also your mental habits. You are also your emotions and the dynamics of how they ebb and flow. You are also your self-perceptions and self-concept. You are also your body in its entirety. All of these parts of you play into your musical skills, and the higher you reach in your attainment, the more you will have to rely on these parts of yourself to perform at your highest level. 3. Acknowledge, befriend, and seek to understand these greater parts of yourself. Having a new and expanded model of the musician self is not in itself enough to effect change. Even full acknowledgement is not enough. We must seek to understand and befriend these parts of ourselves. These parts of ourselves have been both ignored and hard-pressed into service of our musicianship. Imagine you've been performing a task that supports others for months or years without acknowledgement or thanks. You'd probably be pretty stressed by that situation, to say the very least. A simple statement of, "Oh, you're here doing this thing," would barely make a dent in your stress and resentment at the situation. Some hands-on help would be an improvement. Even better would be someone who seeks to understand precisely what you are doing and why, so that they could help in the best possible way. This is how it is with the lesser acknowledged parts of ourselves. They're frequently misunderstood, overworked, and under-supported. And it's the redemption of these parts of ourselves, from slave class to valued community member, that works the magic in our attempts to get unstuck. In other words, we have to begin to reintegrate those parts of ourselves we have pushed out to the margins of our self-perception. A valued community member is so much more likely to get on board with any task the community, your whole self, is trying to accomplish. 4. Audit your skill set and reorganize. Once a musician has become more aware of the true complexity of task-fulfilling skills going on inside the act of playing, we can make some better management choices about who is doing what task, who's overworked and needs support, and even who's wholly unsuited to their current task and needs reassigning, or even just plain sacking. And to carry this personnel management analogy further, we may find that as we get to know our staff better, we discover that they have better ways of achieving our stated goals than management, our conscious mind, has ever considered, and that a top-to-bottom reorganization of our staff may be the best move forward. 5. Reintegrate all parts of our musician selves according to our values. As an ideal outcome, after all this self-analysis, we would like to return to a performing state where as few of these many considerations pass through our conscious minds as possible, back to that ideal flow state of just being absolutely in the groove. The difference being that now we can consciously and deliberately dip down into any of these subconscious processes whenever we like, reordering them to promote the values of our music making and empowering ourselves with capacities that our conscious minds alone could never achieve. You've probably witnessed some of your musical heroes doing this to some conscious degree or other. This reintegration process is invariably the stepping off point of a new chapter or direction in their artistic output. The secret to successful reintegration is to give the process over to a part of ourselves that resides in undifferentiated unity. That is, our higher selves, our souls. When we can take this new, deeper awareness of what we are, from the physical to the emotional to the mental, and give this over to our highest selves, musical mastery will be your natural state, and your technical plateau will be a distant memory. Now, to those of you who clicked on this video hoping for a detailed blow-by-blow instruction set of how to accomplish this for yourself, please understand that what I've given you here is just a high-level overview of the whole process, and I will indeed be drilling down into the specifics of each of these stages in further videos in the coming weeks and months. But I want you to also understand that this process is infinitely easier to accomplish with the help of a coach. someone who can observe you and your actions from an external viewpoint, someone who can push past the blind spots and self-delusions that are inevitably part and parcel of the mind of a struggling musician. As with any form of deep self-inquiry or psychological exploration, it is technically possible to do it solo, but it's also very time-consuming and energetically draining. And that's why I'm offering this to you now. If you want this process to go as smoothly and quickly as possible, you might consider investing in a short course of coaching sessions with me here at the Conscious Music School, where I can bring to bear my years of experience helping people bust through their technical plateaus. I don't sell some one-size-fits-all course with a high price tag and promises of miraculous results in 8 weeks flat. This process is too individual, too personal to be tackled in that manner. I offer a mix of pre-recorded lessons outlining the basics and one-on-one sessions where we can really dig down into what's holding you back. Some of my students crack the nut in a matter of 4 to 6 weeks. Some of them take a little longer. Some get past the initial stages of addressing their immediate problem and realise there is a whole world of new methods and techniques that they want to catch up on that I can pass on to them. So to accommodate this variability, I simply charge by the month, and you can stay as long as you think you're still getting value from my coaching. If you think this offer might be right for you, click the link you'll find somewhere around this video and come and visit me at theconsciousmusicschool.com. Together, we'll get you back on the road to progress in no time. And that's it. Please like and subscribe if you want to hear more from the Conscious Music School. Thank you for your time and attention, and I salute the conscious musician within you.